What is your ex feeling during your no contact? My name is Coach Adrian, your relationship coach. And I wanted to do a video to help you get into your ex's head a little bit as you engage in a period of no contact. And a lot of clients want to know what their ex are thinking. You even obsess about it a little bit, especially if you're thinking about doing a no contact or if you are engaged in a period of no contact. And so I wanted to use my experience to share with you some of the things that I've learned having coached individuals on both sides of a breakup process. First and foremost, if you are asking yourself this question of what your ex is thinking during a no contact, you probably need to focus more on you and what you are going through and the things that you have set out to achieve and to develop, rather than on what they are thinking and doing. Otherwise, you won't really, truly maximize the power and the opportunity of what you're doing right now, of this no contact period. So oftentimes, when clients ask me, what is my ex thinking or feeling right now, I often remind them to make sure that they set their sights on the right questions to maximize their chances of success. But I will tell you what your ex is thinking during your no contact or some of the feelings that they may be experiencing once you do decide to pull away. The first is probably a feeling of freedom initially. Perhaps you have overwhelmed them in some way, shape, or form. Or perhaps they feel guilty and dreaded this process of having to pull away. And giving them that space and time that they need is sure to help them to be able to breathe a little bit and to make sense of what they hope will be a new beginning. That is not a bad thing. We don't want to come in the way of what they feel they need to be happy. We want to show them that it is in their best interest to be with you. We are not going to force our way back into their lives. It's not going to work. It's not sustainable. We do not want to manipulate. We want to really inspire them to see for themselves that it is in their best interest to be with you and for them to take those steps towards you. So, giving them what they say they need, if they have asked for space, is not only necessary, but something that I would highly advise that you do. And that initial sense of freedom doesn't always last, because at the same time, there are tons of emotions there. Some of them positive, some of them negative. And even if the breakup was a long time coming, they will still miss part of the relationship dynamic. Towards the end of a relationship, and because of the nature of sometimes how our mind works, we tend to look at the negative aspects of what we are engaged in. And we can tend to overvalue what we possess or look at what we have in a negative light and look at what we don't yet possess with wandering eyes and romanticizing this notion of freedom and happiness. But the reality is that they do miss you. They do miss you, and giving them that space and time through a no contact will give them an opportunity to remember why they fell in love for you in the beginning. It will give them time to reminisce on some of the good experiences that you've shared. Also, they're going to experience curiosity. Most times, exes don't think that you are capable of giving them that time. They expect you to reach out and to bombard them. And you pulling away is only going to make them want to know what you're up to, how you're doing. Have you moved towards your goals? Are you still engaging in those activities that you love? They are going to be really curious to know how you are doing. And that can be manifested in different ways. Perhaps they're going to reach out to you directly, or perhaps they're going to reach out to friends to figure out how you're doing. Or perhaps they're going to check your stories or your social media profile. Or perhaps they're going to create a fake profile because they're insecure and they don't want you to know that they're checking up on you. regardless, even if they are not checking up on you, my experience has taught me that in most cases, ex continue to think about you, even if they broke up, even if they were adamant that they don't want to be together. One of the questions that they're asking themselves is, when is the next time that we are going to connect? When is the next time that you will speak together? Because even if things did not end on good terms, their ego is probably seeking a little bit of need for validation from you. And I'm sharing this with you not to appease you, but because it's important to know that some of the questions that you are asking yourself, they may be asking themselves as well. Another question that they most probably are pondering or will think about is if you are happier without them. And in many cases at the time of a breakup, a partner will tell you, I want you to be happy. I hope you find someone that you deserve. You deserve to be loved. And individuals will say the right things, but once they actually start to lose you, it can tend to shift what they think they want and how they perceive the loss of the dynamic itself. And ultimately, it's important for you to understand, yet again, that you are not the only one that is suffering. Even if they triggered the breakup, they are also struggling with losing or ending that chapter. At some point, whether it's immediately or after a few weeks or months, they're going to have to also face that reckoning and make sense of what has happened. The individual that is broken up with usually has a harder time initially, but also evolves a lot more quickly. You're forced to address the issues head on. You're forced to ask yourself tough questions. And you're forced to stretch your comfort zone and to grow in a way that perhaps you had been avoiding for many weeks or many months. They are not necessarily in that same mindset. There's less pressure, and in some ways, there's less eagerness to really look within and decide what direction they want to take. A lot of times that process has happened prior to the breakup for them, and they're kind of riding high until you start to put your process of no contact in place. Either way, you're putting this in place not to get a validation from them, but for yourself, to be able to heal, to be able to rebound and move forward in a healthy way, and to also increase your chances at creating something new. And I believe that you are well on your way. We have created different courses on no contact, how to implement it successfully, how to break it, and how to make the most of the new dynamic after you have reestablished contact. And I encourage you to check those out. You also have links to coaching sessions that can be booked with me and with my team, and it'll be our pleasure to really help you along the way and to provide you with that guidance and support that you need. If you have questions linked around no contact, what you're going through, what your ex may be feeling and thinking, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below. As always, thank you for your trust. Thank you for fighting the good fight, and thank you for giving us purpose. I wish you only the best.